Hi, Movie Edit Pro Plus and Premium, or MEP as I'll call it, and Video Pro X, or VPX, are closely linked to Xara Photo and Graphics Designer, or Graphics Designer Pro X, but only if you have one of these Xara programs installed in your computer. Starting from a video clip in MEP or VPX, you can create static or animated graphic overlays using Xara. In this tutorial, I'll show the basics of how to create a simple animated overlay with a couple of objects. I have a video on the timeline and I'll cut it at 5 seconds. I'll select it and right-click on it. From the menu, I'll select Video Effects and on the flyout, Create Overlay Graphics and Animations. This opens Xara. I'll put Xara at full screen. We see the first frame of the video in this window. At the left is a toolbar. At the right is the animation frame gallery. There are some buttons with New, Properties, Preview, which is not on yet, Copy, Delete, which is also not turned on, and Help. There are two icons at the right. The eye or eyes toggles between See Only the active frame or See All frames. The padlocks allow selecting objects and editing them in all frames or only the active frame. This is useful if you want to select objects that are on multiple frames. In the window below, the first line has headings. There are two boxes. The first is to indicate if this is supposed to be the background frame, normally the first frame. The second one is overlay. Then the two timer buttons move the frame backwards or forwards by a small amount. Then there's the frame name, in this case frame 1, which starts at 00 and displays for half a second. I'll open the properties and we can see that we can change the name of the frame and indicate if it is to be a background or overlay frame. We'll ignore these in this tutorial. Next is the local delay. Display this frame for 0.5 seconds. This is the default. What happens is that every time I press on the copy button, the background video and thus the animation advances by half a second. If you need to tighten this up, it can be decreased down to frame level if necessary, or increased if you don't need many frames. I'll leave this at half a second. I'll create the first object on the first frame by using the Shape tool. When you close this type of object, it gets a fill. I'll change it to red. Since I want to animate this object, I have to give it a name. With the object still selected, click on the pencil or right-click on the object and select Names. This opens the Names interface. I'll type in Object and press on Add. Next, I'll create a second shape using the Star tool. I'll change the color and give it a name, Star. We're ready to move to the next frame. Click on Copy in the Animation Frame Gallery and a second line appears for frame 2. Notice that the video also advanced? I'll select the first object and move it by dragging it. I'll select the second object, move it, click on it again, and give it some rotation. Click on Copy to advance to frame 3. I'll move the object over and give it some rotation. I'll slightly change the shape of the star. Click on Copy, and this time I'll change the shape of the object by double-clicking on it and moving the nodes with the Shape tool and adding some. Click on Copy, and I'm at frame 5. I'll move the object on the star and change the color of the star, and I'll give it some transparency. I'll continue on moving and changing things until I get to the end of the video clip when the screen goes white. To preview what we have, click on Preview. Move the overlay to see it better and click on Play. The animation plays. Stop it, and you can scrub with the slider. The two buttons move back and forth by one frame. Close the preview window by clicking on the X. Now I'll go back to the video editor by clicking on the Exit to Movie Editor button. Back in MEP, we see a new object on track 3, our animation. I'll scrub across it, and you can see that the objects are smoothly animated. To go back to edit this, double-click on the object and it will open in Xara. You can make multiple static and animated objects in one shot, and you can have them change colors and shape. For those of you who are familiar with Xara, You know that you can make very complex composite objects and animate them. This tool allows you to draw over your video and animate what you draw. I hope that this has given you some ideas as to how to use Xara along with Movie Edit Pro or Video Pro X to make static or animated graphics. Thank you for watching. Till next time, enjoy.